The squad is Bowden Barrett, Taranaki; Sam Kane, Bay of Plenty; Daniel Carter, Canterbury; Dane Coles, Wellington; Wyatt Crockett, Canterbury; Ryan Crotty, Canterbury; Aaron Cruden, Manawatu; Israel Dagg, Hawke's Bay; Charlie Faumuina, Auckland; Malakai Fekitoa, Auckland; Ben Franks, Hawke's Bay; Owen Franks, Canterbury; Nathan Harris, Bay of Plenty; Corey Jane, Wellington; Jerome Kaino, Auckland; Richie McCaw, Canterbury and captain; Kevin Mialamu, Auckland; Liam Messam, Waikato; Joe Moody, Canterbury; TJ Perenara, Wellington; Charles Piatow, Auckland; August Pulu, Counties Manukau; Kieran Reid, Canterbury; Brodie Retallick, Bay of Plenty; Luke Romano, Canterbury; Julian Savia, Wellington; Aaron Smith, Manawatu; Ben Smith, Otago; Conrad Smith, Wellington; Jeremy Thrush, Wellington; Patrick Tuipulotu, Auckland; Victor Vital, Wellington; Samuel Whitelock, Canterbury; and Sonny Bill Williams, Counties Manukau. Congratulations to all those players selected, and on behalf of all New Zealand rugby fans, we wish them all the very best for the tour. Thank you, and I'll now pass over to Steve for comment and questions. Thank you.
Firstly, would like to congratulate all those that have been selected and commiserate with those that have missed out. It's been a really tough squad to pick, not because we don't have enough talent, but because we've got more than enough. We've got some great depth and some good men have missed out. Just want to talk a little bit about the inclusion of Luke Romano. We were originally going to take 33 players, but Luke has been a little bit slower coming back than we'd liked. So we don't really have a gauge on where he's at from a playing point of view because he hasn't played. So kindly the Rugby Union have allowed us to take a 34th player. Luke, as you know, hasn't played a lot of rugby because of injury over the last 18 months. We felt it's really important to get him back into the All Black way, for a phrase to say, but the key thing we want to do with Lukey is obviously get him back up to speed with how we're playing and our skill sets that we're using. He'll probably play at least one game on the tour anyway. He'll give us an opportunity to rest our two big boys and Brodie and Sam as well. So we felt that was important to get him on the trip. So hence why he's there. Spoken to Slady about the DC situation. We'll monitor DC this week, get a good idea of where he's likely to be, and if DC can't make the trip because of his leg, then Colin Slade will come back in. It's commiserations to those that have missed out. You know, the guy has played extremely well for us all season when he's been given the opportunity. He's got real versatility. You know, not many people can say they've played for the All Blacks at halfback, first five, wing and fullback. And you know what he did in the weekend, he came on and slotted the goal that we needed slotted. So there's not much between all four of our 5'8", and it's just unfortunate one of them has to miss out.
Has Bowden Barrett surpassed Aaron Cruden as his slot?
Well, he's been picked in the last test ahead of him, so you'd have to say he probably has, but Cruden will get an opportunity now that he's back in the group and feeling comfortable, and you know, I'd say against the States he'll probably get an opportunity, and then we'll have to reassess. As I said before, I don't think there's much between all four of them.
Steve, in terms of Sonny Bill Williams, can we expect him to play on this tour, or is it more of a watching?
He'll be playing.
In Chicago, first test?
Well, we'll wait and see. We don't name that team until Thursday fortnight, so we'll let you know.
What jersey number do you see Sonny wearing?
What one do you want him to wear? I'm happy if he wears any one. 12 is obviously his number one position, but I think he can play 12, he can play 13. He's played on the wing for the All Blacks, off the bench. So, but realistically, what we want to do with Sonny is get him back into playing rugby, get him back into understanding what we're trying to do, and to limit the number of positions he has to learn at this point would be sensible. So to answer your question, 12 will be where we'll concentrate.
Steve, Augustine Toulouse, is he expected to go on that tour as a bit of a learning experience and not play, or do you see him playing?
Oh, he'll have to play. I mean, we've got 4 test matches that require everyone to pitch in at some point, I should imagine, and there's a couple of opportunities there that I should imagine that he'll get to be in the squad, whether it's starting or off the bench. We'll wait and see, but we've got to find a bit out about him at this level. We know a lot of him from Super and ITM Cup rugby, but he's now with us and we need to know if he's able to take that next step. We're taking all the extra staff that we think we're going to need at the World Cup, so they'll come, get an understanding of what it's like to tour the UK, and they'll get opportunities to visit the places we're going to be going to and put things in place. They'll get to work with the players and the other management, and we'll get a real clarity of what all our roles are. So that'll be important. We get the opportunity to play a Tier 2 nation and then play a big nation in England. So that's going to happen. We play Tonga in our last round robin game, and if we make the quarterfinals, then that'll be a big game, either against France or Ireland in Cardiff. So it replicates what we're doing next year. So those sorts of things will be handy, but it's not the be end all of the World Cup, no.
Are there any other guys on the fringes that perhaps you get to kind of name that were very close?
Oh, look, someone like Matty Todd from here is always unlucky to miss out. Like any other time, if he was born in another era, he'd probably have played a lot of test matches for the All Blacks. Hopefully he hangs in there and after the World Cup and McCaw decides to retire, he'll get those opportunities because he's a class player. And there's other people, like Stephen's missed out, and I think Stephen's made a lot of progress this year after a slow start. So, it's always the case though. Good people miss out, and it's their determination to stay in the fight, for want of a better term, will dictate where they end up. Because there's always going to be an opportunity through injury or someone's lack of form or, dare I say it, someone stuffing up and having to stay at home. There's always going to be an opportunity, and the thing that you keep stressing to the players that miss out is, be ready for that opportunity.
set in stone, or I guess it'll evolve heading into the World Cup? Are we going to see some changes in the way you guys play the game?
Well, they'll have to.
Too much weight.
They'll have to evolve, because if we stay still, people will go past us. And we're seeing other teams evolve at the moment. South Africa's starting to play a running game, and Australia's starting to hang on to the ball more. England are hanging on to the ball more. So, whilst they're starting to do that, we've been doing it for a while. We have to evolve how we're doing it, otherwise we become predictable. At the same time, you want to keep some things up your sleeve.
Is it a process that you work on? Do you sort of work 6 months ahead, sort of, in terms of a game plan of what you could see yourself doing?
It'd be nice to say we did work 6 months ahead, but I think that would be fairy dust, really. You're trying to anticipate what's going to happen next in the game, and what are the trends that allow you to do things. And Fozzie and I are working hard on that all the time, from a game structure point of view. Don't always necessarily get it right, but we think that we're going okay at the moment, and we've got some firm ideas on where we want to go.
So you speak about Luke Romano. Apparently he was available to play at the weekend. Were you so disappointed he didn't get a run there?
Oh, not really. I mean, end of the day, Canterbury had to pick the people that they thought were right to do the job. Be a smidgen disappointed, I guess, but at the end of the day, Razor had to pick what he thought was right for his team, and I've always believed that it's the same with the Crusaders picking Dan at 12. I'd rather they played him at 10, but it was right for them to pick him at 12. So you just got to cope with that and deal with it as it happens, and it's not going to make any difference to us. As I said, we've brought him on this tour because we think we can work with him. We think he's got a future with the All Blacks if he can get back to where he was before he got injured, and we just thought it was important to bring it.
Steve, you can approach this game against the USA similar to the one in Japan last year, where you gave the younger guys a bit more of a run, some of the bench players a start.
It's an opportunity to use all of our squad, there's no doubt about that. Whether we do that or not, we'll wait and see.
Do you think you'll be resting any of the players who've got a bit of a high workload recently?
That's a sort of similar question to the last one, so I'll probably answer it similarly. We do have an opportunity to give a few people a go, yeah.
Was there any thought given to maybe resting some frontline players from this tour and not pushing them up, like Kieran Reid after his concussion problems?
He doesn't need a rest from his concussion. I think we're hanging on to that about Rito. I think we should stop doing that. He's fine. Did we give any thought to resting some players? Yeah, we did. But we sat down with our strength and conditioning guru and Nick Gill, and he was of the opinion that we can manage them really, really well on the tour. We can get gains out of them on the tour, and if we felt like they needed a break, then we could give them a break on the tour, but still keep them ticking over nicely. So in the end, we decided we wouldn't give anyone a break.
What was behind Stephen Lewis not making the cut?
Well, Victor Vito was in the squad in the Steinlader series and then got injured with his neck, and we brought Stephen in as replacement. Victor's now fit and available again, and we just felt that Vic deserved the right to come back into the group and show us what he's got. It also gives Stephen a really big opportunity to have a pre-season, something he didn't use that well last year. And if he does use it well, I'm sure he'll be knocking on the door for selection, come the end of Super Rugby.